Hi everybody, Virgo here. Okay, I thought I was done for today, but this is something that absolutely needs to be put out there. The misinformation that goes on in the Moorish American Consulate group is unfreaking believable. All right, so what you're looking at is an actual hearing that is going on in Philadelphia, in the Philadelphia court building, by a quote-unquote Moorish judge. Before anybody gets too riled up about this in the MAC group, though, you need to pay attention to a couple of different things. This is a Philadelphia interfaith court, and aside from the fact that you all try to make everybody believe that all of the criminal activities that go on will absolutely not be dealt with in a court of law within the United States jurisdiction, yet again, you are 100% incorrect. See, the Philadelphia Interfaith Court is just that. It's an interfaith court, meaning it is a family court of sorts. So what we're looking at here is something that is allowed in some states within the nation. It means that in order for people to have a lower cost of fees and that sort of thing, to get divorced or to have something fairly simplistic heard in civil family court, they could choose to go to their religious court in order for those decisions to be made. However, if a problem happens to arise, inadvertently they always end up in regular civil court once again. So let's take a look at a couple of things about interfaith courts that maybe none of you have actually heard of before. The reason that I'm actually doing this video is because sending an entire group of people ablaze believing that there are courts that are popping up all over the United States that have to do with the Moorish consulate or Moorish judges is a ridiculous thought. A religious court, on the other hand, is generally something that the Catholics or the Christians attempt to try to do, but I'm sure it's open, as we see here, to every type of religion. However, it does not seep over to the criminal area. It also doesn't speak in terms of having jurisdiction over and above the United States as a nation or the codes, the criminal codes of the United States. All right, let's take a look at some information with regards to interfaith courts. So some of you might be aware of what arbitration is. I know a lot of you on this channel are very well aware of what arbitration is. It is a mediator, basically, that plays the role of being able to judge between grievances. Well, this is very similar to that. Grievances within a faith tradition often are settled amicably or adjudicated by the religious community itself without involvement from religious or secular courts. Indeed, many religious groups encourage members who are accused of non-criminal moral wrongdoing or are involved in a financial dispute with another member of the religious group to engage in mediation in an effort to come to a voluntary agreement. In other words, we are talking about two people within the same church, within the same religious group that can be mediated by a court like this. This has nothing to do with criminal. This has nothing to do with if you get pulled over and you get a traffic ticket that you don't have to go to traffic court. This has nothing to do with you have the right to file a lien against somebody outside of your own group of individuals and get away with it or try to take properties or anything like that. This has nothing to do with overriding the United States of America court systems in any way, and they, as playing the role of mediation, do not have jurisdiction over and above the United States laws. Let's take a look at some of the states that actually allow interfaith courts. So this was the only actual map that I could find with regards to this, and this was actually released in April of 2013. I would love to be able to see a newer one, but unfortunately I just have not been able to find one yet. So this is fine though. This will give you an example of what we're looking at here. This is the state legislation restricting use of foreign or religious law. There are reasons behind why many states would prefer not for this not to be the case. Many times when you're dealing with interfaith church type of ceremonies, for example, when it comes to marriages or that sort of thing, you're dealing with a group of individuals that use a very old late 1800s law in order to connect themselves in a common law type of marriage. In that case, more times than not, it's been proven over 100 years at this point, that particular scenario ends up with the separation of those two people or a common law divorce of those two people. And then you've got children that are hanging on out there that they feel that in other circumstances may not turn out to be that way because there is more of a commitment with regards to debts and everything being together when we're talking about a traditional marriage. I'm not personally going to weigh in on that because my feelings are a little bit different with regards to this entire subject, but it really doesn't make a difference because this is what the law says. With regards to the grouping of individuals or individual states that that actually have legislation that has been proposed or enacted, they're to restrict the use of foreign or religious law, and the court decisions on that. You can use this particular map here, click on one of the states, and it will actually come up. Well, it's not doing it for me right now, but it's supposed to. I'm sure if you go ahead and use the link in the description, you'll be able to see this. It will show you rather what it is that that state allows or does not allow. All right, so my bottom line to wanting to make sure that this was actually shown to you guys was the fact that we have a group of individuals that love to take anything that they can find across social media that says Moorish on it, that looks like it's some form of authority, and they like to spread it all over Facebook and YouTube in order to try to get the people that are following them to believe that, oh yeah, there's Moorish courts popping up everywhere and soon the U.S. will have no jurisdiction whatsoever, when the real truth is that this particular court has been in the Philadelphia court building for over 2 years now. It is something that has to do with interfaith, and the interfaith court is legally allowed in that state. But in 38 states, it's not allowed. In addition to that, they have very limited power as to what they can provide. People tend to use interfaith courts, once again, for the purpose of saving on fees that you would normally find within the court system, the United States court system. Once again, this has to do with two people that have a dispute, whether it be a civil dispute financially or a family dispute within their own family, two members that are a part of that actual religious group. This does not include you being able to call someone in to court that you think you want to sue because they're of European descent, guys. All right? So just so that you know, this only holds power with regards to the people that are within that specific faith and subscribe to that specific court. It does not supersede the United States courts, and it absolutely has no jurisdiction with regards to anything criminal related. All right, everyone, I hope that this helps people to not get confused with regards to this. But even if it doesn't really matter because the facts are what matters. All right, everyone, have a great day. Bye-bye.